A very good day to you. Welcome to Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Jedel Kabra. So glad that you're joining us once again for political conversations. These conversations are simple, truthful, and biased. Prof puts them across in a very hard-hitting manner. I'm with him, sir. How are you doing today?
Good. A little down the weather.
You told me you have some cold.
Yeah, sir. It's okay.
Generally, how was your week?
I'm a village boy, so these are small things.
Your week?
The week was okay. Very wonderful.
So much to talk about. There's this conversation. You've talked about it with Richard, what is happening within ODM. And then there's also this thing of parliamentarians and their allowances, SRC standing ground. Talk to me first about the conversation on CDF. CS Ukuriatani during the induction says there is no money that will be allocated to these constituencies for this CDF. Martha Koome saying this is interfering with what is in the law. Should they be reinstated with CDF? Because there's this conversation too that CDF has helped a lot of people on the ground when it comes to bursaries.
You know, this is a simple matter. CDF is unconstitutional. The highest court in the land has said as much. And it should rest there. Except that when the president says he's going to do something about it, I get a little worried.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that worries me, that the president says, assures MPs, he'll do something about it. That's what's worrying. But anything else is a simple, straightforward thing. The courts have said it's unconstitutional. I've been among the people who have said this repeatedly. It is wrong for a number of reasons. CDF, first of all, you must know, dilutes the work of an MP. Reducing it to a manager of funds. Because if we turn our MPs into what they are now, they are labor officers to employ people, they are caretakers in funerals, they attend weddings, when somebody's wife is about to give birth, they must contribute, etc., etc. And then you give them CDF to go dishing checks as people ululate and clap for them. Then when will they do their work? So they don't know their work.
But I think it was made to look like a big milestone in constituencies when CDF was introduced. Where did the problem come into place?
You know, there are things which government must do. Okay? So I've listened to MPs this morning, I think, on some television station. And they are saying because there are all these sorts of problems, mortuary fees, hospital fees, you know, they must help people, pay fees and all those things. Then they need to be paid well, they need CDF and so on and so forth. But then what's their work? Their work is to remedy those problems. Yeah, to remedy the problems.
What would you say to someone? I think one of our crew members actually here was telling me he went to school through CDF. What would you tell someone who believes that this CDF is there for the people and does not understand why it's being taken away from these parliamentarians?
So let's look at it in two ways. Now, first thing I'm saying is, if there are problems in the country that make that classroom collapse, a school has no classroom.
Yeah.
You don't rectify that by giving CDF. You make government do what it's supposed to do, which is provide quality education for its citizens, including classrooms. You don't give money to an MP. Now, the explanation is simple. This is how government is structured. First of all, there are three arms of government. The executive that runs the government, the legislature that makes the laws, that allows government to collect taxes and use those taxes. The judiciary, which arbitrates in case of a conflict. Now, government is spending money which parliament has given it. Government has no money. It is parliament that gives government money, the executive, to spend. What is the work of parliament there? To oversight. To make sure you, government of Ruto, we have given you money. We want to make sure you are spending it well. How then do you join them in spending the money? Who will oversight you now? You don't join them. That's number one. You oversight. You don't join them in spending the same money. Number two, we have a devolved system of government. So if there are devolved funds, we want them to reach down there. They'll do so. We do so through the devolved units, through the county governments and the wards. To give MPs money as CDF is to undermine devolution, is to undermine the governor.
Okay.
If there is money we want to go to my Hamisi constituency, up to Lumbe village where I come from. Give it to the governor. Give it to Governor Otichiro. The work of my MP, Charles Gimose, is to make sure, first, together with the people of Hamisi, they have identified priority projects. Okay?
Yeah.
So that the governor is not coming up with his own projects. The governor is coming up with the projects which the people with their MP have identified, number one. Number two is to make sure whatever money is allocated to a project is spent accordingly.
Okay.
That is simple like that.
So this is why
so simple.
the CJ is coming and saying there's division between the county and the national government when it comes to disbursement of these funds. But
yes,
go ahead now. Let's go to this conversation also of SRC versus Parliament. They had a meeting. There's leaked audio of what was happening within 7 hour, I think, meeting. The parliamentarians saying you must give us this money, these allowances that we've been getting. I think it is Moses Wetangula, the speaker, who said it will get back to them, the allowances. They will look into it. Should they be getting these allowances, or what is happening between SRC and Parliament?
Let me tell you.
Do they have that much power?
Let us start somewhere. This is a poor country. A poor third world country. A dirty country. I'm sorry to say so. When you come to the capital city of Kenya, over 80% of inhabitants live in things that cannot even be called slums. Who votes that cannot even be called slums? Where 80% of Kenyans in Nairobi do not have access to water. More than 80%. You get what I'm saying? A country like this, won't leaders be ashamed to ask for money? Point number one. Point number two, if we want to have quality leadership in Parliament, then we must remove those monies from Parliament. Let people go to Parliament because they have something burning in them to change this country. So Manyora has something burning in him. He would want to change this country. But because there's so much money there, people are rushing for that money. And they will do everything and throw everything into an election to get there. So I will not go there. You will not go there. Crooks who have stolen wash are the ones who will go there. For prestige and for the money which is there. So once we remove money from Parliament, it becomes a place of service. Anybody who goes there is to serve the people of Kenya. We will get quality leadership. This morning I was listening to MPs speaking. I said, God,
what do you think?
these are not even fit to be MCS. Look here, and me I tell Kenyans, you are inviting trouble. Unless we have serious men and women in charge of this country, at all levels, including Parliament, to sort out the problems we are in and where we are heading, we will destroy this country. And it will take us generations to repair it. So beginning by members of Parliament, we set up SRC for one reason. If the SRC doesn't know, the reason why Kenyans wanted SRC was so that they can tame the greed of MPs. If SRC is not doing that, they have no business being there. They're just busybodies.
Will they be able to function well? I think it's Babu Wino who
Which
said,
function?
SRC. I think it's Babu Wino that said the MPs should slash their budget because they're the ones that sit in the budget committee that allocates money to SRC in retaliation. Do you think this is part of the reason that MPs, once elected...
People like Babu Wino should stop thinking that. They should think about this country. Look, Babu Wino is a young man. It is his children who live in this country. Me, I'm an old man. It is Babu Wino and his age mates who need this country more than me. They have to make this place a good place for their children. You cannot be this greedy, this destructive, and think you have a country tomorrow. Let me tell you this. The anger with which people have faced this issue of MPs, that anger is enough to destroy a country. And these people like Babu Wino have to know. They already have enough money on their own. What do they want to get money from poor, dying Kenyans?
John Buddy says house allowances have been there since time immemorial. Like in most jurisdictions, they've been there. He's saying we're trying to fix something that is not broken, this house allowances thing. What are we looking at? And I want to know, is there a way to oversight the members of Parliament?
Let me tell members of Parliament and the people of this country. You continue doing the things you are doing. This country is going down. It's going down. Me, I'm down. I won't feel it. They are up there. They will feel it. You know, when things go wrong, ask Ugandans. Ask Somali people. When things go wrong, it is those up there who suffer most. Sisi tuko hapa chini. We can't go lower than where we are. Imagine you are staying in Karen and now these boys from Kibera will go and stay there. That's how it is. They should go to Uganda. Those nice houses that were at the hill there, the owners left them.
You said at the beginning, you're worried more about William Ruto.
Yes.
Supporting CDF.
He should not do that.
What do you think he's in a difficult place?
Which difficult place?
What should he
Presidents have faced MPs. The president of Botswana, he faced them. He told them, go to hell. I'm with the people on this. I'll not give you more money. I will not sign anything. You can send me home if you want. Ruto should look at MPs and tell them, this is a poor country. Over 90% of Kenyans watch their people die because they can't afford medical care for them. Kenyans cannot give their children education. Kenyans go to bed. Even World Bank, even the government's own statistics, about 50% of this country is 50% go to bed hungry. They live below 100 shillings per day. World Bank figures, not mine. Government figures, not mine. Look at how many young men in this country don't have a job. In a country with more than 10 million unemployed youth, most of them with education. My friend, I like the president of Botswana. He told them off. He told them, you go or I go. And the Kibwana did it also, with the Kibwana. He told them, yes. If you don't want us to have a reasonable budget that caters for the people of Makwele, let us, all of us, go home. And the law says the governor can ask the president to dissolve the county.
If parliamentarians
Only President Ruto saved them. Yeah, that's the kind of leaders we want, like Kibwana. Ruto should look at MPs and tell them, I'm going to take you on a tour of this city. Tuanzie Kibra, twende Kawangware, twende Madare, twende Korogosho, Mukuru Kayafa, and I will ask you to sleep there one day. That's where your countrymen live.
If parliamentarians go the Babu Wino way, slash SRC's budget...
SRC, in fact, is a busybody. Forget about even slashing their budget. Let SRC even go home. This doesn't make a difference. But Babu Wino must also be aware that the role of the MPs in fixing budget is so limited. They should start it there. This budget is made at State House.
So the back for
they can't change it.
I'm saying the back.
They can only remove a few hundreds of shillings on top.
When it comes to all this conversation, it's William Ruto to tame parliamentary.
The back stops with the President of the Republic of Kenya, William Samoei Ruto. We are living through very hard times. The future is bleak. It's not just Kenya. The world is suffering. The world economy has taken a beating. We don't know what tomorrow portends. We don't know how many steps we are behind Sri Lanka. We don't know. We don't know how many steps we are behind Sri Lanka. You get it?
Yeah.
So the president must be firm. The first thing the president of the Republic of Kenya must do is to stop wastage. I cry when I'm in an airport and I see how many GK vehicles, how many parastatal vehicles are bringing people going to Kisumu or from Kisumu going back to Nairobi, Mombasa. I shed tears. One day I was at the airport in Kisumu and a military plane was there. The Minister of Defense, she was using the plane alone with the niece. Alone, I'm telling you. Alone, and I hope the military is listening to this. One person, a military plane, taking a minister, one plane. This we must stop. Because this country is not very many steps away from destruction. So this kind of wastage. In fact, I'm going to get to Kio Mtata and a few Kenyans. We must abolish the Parliamentary Service Commission. So I didn't even like this idea of saying you are giving police their own money, giving the judiciary their own money. No, we must remove bodies that control their own monies. So Parliamentary Service Commission has to go away. MPs should get 300,000 shillings. And if you don't want, you go home. Let those Kenyans who want to serve go there. Let's facilitate you to do your work and no more. There are even countries where MPs live in a village.
Yeah.
You know that? There's a village has been constructed. A village to mean a place with houses.
Yeah.
When you become an MP, former immediate past vice president of USA, the world's superpower, The days he was in Washington from Indiana, he slept in a sleeping bag. Mike Pence. The vice president of America, not being given a house allowance, not sleeping in a hotel, sleeping in a sleeping bag in the office or somewhere around there. Then stupid MPs here in a poor country where their countrymen are dying of diarrhea.
Maybe we should end the conversation.
We should not end with diarrhea. We must end by telling MPs, when the history of this country is written, the chapter dedicated to them will be a rotten chapter. It will be stinking. They have to stop this cheapness. They have to be mindful of the people of this country and the young members of parliament, like Babu Awino. This is their country. It's not about my age mates. My age mates have destroyed this country. People of my age have destroyed this country. It is up to the generation of Babu Awino to fix what my generation has destroyed in the interest of their children.
No, we end it at that.
We can end there.
For Herman Manyora, we need to stop the wastage. The buck stops with William Samoei Ruto, our current president. Till we talk again, have yourself a lovely rest of your day.